Manx Radio's Countryside is brought to you by NFU Mutual.
Hello and welcome to Countryside here on Manx Radio. I'm Simon Clark.
And I'm Kirree. At the weekend, I popped in to see the Southern District Agricultural Shows Committee to see how they were getting on in preparation for this year's show.
I met the Queen and the Governor at a very successful Platinum Jubilee celebration in the north of the Isle of Man. And also I went along to speak to some of the people involved in the Treader Lure sheepdog trials. Well, Kirree, firstly, before we get into things, you've been away on trips again for the good of the island, though.
Absolutely. It's always great to bring knowledge back and share it with the farming community here on the island. And this weekend I was away to Shropshire and North Wales to visit some sheep flocks there, pedigree sheep flocks, that to see what they're up to, their nutrition plans, and they'll sell these sheep later in the year for seed stock and breeding purposes. And it was great to catch up with everyone. 2 years is a long time away, and to catch up with like-minded people and learn from others, it never gets old.
No, it doesn't. Well, talking about sheep, the Treader Lure Sheepdog Club on the island had, a mammoth 3 days of competition, and then a fourth day as well, a bit more of an invitational get-together on the Sunday. I popped along to Orrisdale Farm for the final day's proceedings and spoke to some of the people taking part, and firstly, one of the organisers, Kate Brummett. Well, firstly, Kate, is it the third or fourth day? You've probably lost count by now.
Fourth, I think. Yeah, I think we're on number 4 today. So the main trial ran Thursday, Friday, Saturday this year, and then this is the Orrisdale Challenge, as we're calling it, down at the Kermodes, just for a bit of fun and a bit of an extra run for the people who've come over.
This one, does it give a chance to, if they've got young dogs with them, to give them a bit of a try out on different sheep and things?
Yeah, so this is probably quite a small field that we're running on down here at Orrisdale today. Probably not as big as what they're used to, but then sometimes it proves challenging when they're not used to running on such a small field that maybe they don't go out as well as if they're on a bigger field, because they get used to that. But no, it's going okay. Nice, simple little course, and just no pressure, nothing too extravagant down here today.
So what sort of entries have you had this year compared to others?
So we ran about over 50-ish dogs this time. It's probably down on where we were in 2013, 2014. Probably on par with when we did 2019, but obviously COVID did impact on some people travelling. One of our competitors was due to travel from Italy, but unfortunately his wife got COVID just before she was due to come over, so unfortunately they had to cancel their trip. But quite a few people had injured dogs, so we did lose a few entries, but that's to be expected, I suppose, with the world that we're living in nowadays.
But what about the entries? Have they come from far and wide? Any local?
So no local entries this year. We had quite a few Welshmen, Irishmen, and women. We've obviously English, Scottish, and then some from further afield. When
you look back 20 or 30 years, there was mostly the men, one man and his dog, as the programme was. But now, there is a lot of women involved in it and enjoying it as well.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be that way. We've had a pretty mixed field for the entries for the last couple of days and today. Probably equal women to men in entries, and same for dogs and bitches as well. We seem to have as many of each, so it's nice to see.
As you said, today is a bit more of a relaxed one, but how did the results from the first 3 days go?
So it was a very challenging field, and the sheep were very challenging, and we ended up with James McGee, who is previous world champion. He won with his little bitch called Nan. And then second was Michael Longton, who was our champion in 2019 with his dog Max. And then in third place we had Alad Owen, also previous world champion, who was with his dog Bud. So they came out on top. There were some very good runs, and people were quite close contention. So it was a good final to the few days. Yeah,
and the feedback you've got, everyone, the weather's held out for you. It's been dry, bit windy.
It's been good. I think the sheep were the most challenging part of the whole weekend. They were a difficult bunch of sheep. They had their own mind, and Everything else seemed to go okay, but the sheep were the problematic part of this weekend.
You can never tell by looking at them, can you?
No. And you think, oh well, they've been run for 3 days, they should have settled down, but it just wasn't the case. They were hard work, but they were hard work for everyone, so it was a level playing field.
Let's get a chat with one of our lady contenders then, who've been competing here in the Isle of Man. Your name is and where you're from?
I'm from Sweden and my name is Anne Blomqvist.
And how has it gone? Is it your first time in the Isle of Man?
Yes, this is the first time on Isle of Man, and it's so beautiful out there, and it's a wonderful island.
And how many years have you been competing in the dog trials?
Oh, that's many years. I think it's about 20-25 years now.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. I've been in the Swedish team for many years now, and we go to the continental and to Britain and doing things. I've been at the world trial a couple of times, so I'm competing a lot.
Yeah, and still enjoying it?
Yes. It's a lovely life, and you meet lots of interesting people and have friends all over the world, so it's good.
But of course, one of the main friends in sheepdog trialling is the dogs, of course.
Yes, of course they are. So I have many dogs. I have about 7 dogs.
You haven't got them all here, have you?
No, I only have 3 with me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And what are their names? They always have very short names, usually, sheepdog trial dogs, don't they?
Yeah, for the most part, because it's easier if we want to call them in or whatever we want to talk to them. But my best bitch is named Pink, and I have another one, it's Dollar, and I have Soya,
All right.
a young one.
I heard that the sheep have been quite challenging over here.
Yeah, at the first trial we went on, it was really challenging, but it's fun and you're learning a lot all the time. This trial is tremendous. The sheep are so good.
Well, it's great to talk to you, and it's great to see you on the Isle of Man.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's get a chat with another of our competitors for this weekend. Quite far afield. What's your name?
It's Beck.
Yeah. And where are you from, Beck?
From Cornwall.
A bit of a trek up then.
Yeah. Long time, about 14 hours in total to get here.
Who fares best in the 14 hours, the owners or the dogs?
Probably the dogs. Yeah, the dogs I reckon. Yeah, they can sleep.
Do they know that they're going to competitions, the dogs? Do they sense it when you're gathering all the equipment up on your way to go to one of the trials? Do they sort of know, right, we're going to do some work?
I don't think so until we actually get there. And when they start seeing the sheep, then they know they mean business. They've got to work.
But I mean, how many years have you been doing the trial now?
Been doing it about 10 years now.
Have you been to the island before?
Yeah, so we came 3 years ago for the trial. Had a pretty good year that year. Got into the final with the old dog. And then one of the people that I'm here with, he got into the final too. And then the other guy that I'm here with, he got in the final this year. So yeah, we've all had a turn in the last twice that we've been here.
And what about the training of the dogs? Do you train them from pups, or do you get them and then sort of mould them into your own way?
So I have trained puppies, but the ones I've trained, the old girl that I bought, I trained her. The young one, I bought her, trained for the nurseries, and then carried on doing a bit with her. And then I've had to borrow one to come here because I didn't have enough dogs to run to bring. So that one I've had to do a bit of work to get her used to my whistles and get her used to me. But I bought her last time as well, so she's not a stranger to me.
Yeah, I was going to ask that question. If you get a dog that's been trained by somebody else, I mean, does it take a while for them to adapt to your methods?
It can do. It depends on the dog. Some dogs are very much sort of one-man people and one-man dogs, and then others, they're quite biddable and they will work quite quickly for other people. So I'm quite lucky that the two that I've run this weekend, they've worked on my whistles and done okay.
There we are. Well, one of the competitors all the way from Cornwall with that massive trip up all them hours. Kate Brummett, first of all, one of the organisers for the Tread Allure sheepdog trials, and also one of the competitors, Anne Blomqvist from Sweden. So good variety.
Isn't it great to see all these people, international people, coming to the Isle of Man to take part in our events? It just shows that we can host some really, really good agricultural events, and I'm sure they would have had a great time. It's a packed full days.
Yes, it certainly was, but could have picked some different sheep the next time that were more willing to go to separate and go in the pens, but you can't pick that, can you? Well, of course, the 2 local agricultural shows aren't far away now, Kirree, and you got involved with finding out more about the preparations, firstly for the Southern Show.
That's right, Simon. The entries have just closed for the livestock sections there, so I thought I'd take a trip down to Whetstone to see the secretary, Zoe Hampton, and also caught up with Bryony Gorm while I was there. Zoe Hampton, here we are now, coming up to the Southern District Agricultural Show for 2022. Well, all changed last year, a new venue. How has it been?
It's been really good. Yeah, really, really popular last year. Lots of entries again for this year.
And obviously with a new venue comes a few teething problems, but these can be ironed out. You've got a great committee behind you.
Yeah, no, everyone's really, really good. We've got quite a few new committee members this year.
And with that, it comes lots of new entries, new classes for this year.
Yeah, lots of new classes. We've got some beginner classes in the fur and feather, and they've been really popular. Not sure what will turn up, but we'll have some birds.
Well, this is it, isn't it? It's getting the youth involved. All the youngsters love turning out, and the mega lamb classes, they always go down a storm.
Yeah, quite a few mega lambs entered this year, but we can still take entries for that, so anybody who wants to enter, let me know.
And like you say, for a show, Bryony, obviously you're the president for this year. It is no mean feat putting on such a huge entertainment.
Definitely not. We actually started our show map planning last night.
You're supposed to say last year.
For this year, for last night.
Yeah.
And suddenly it was 9:30 and I was like, oh, I've got nothing done yet.
Well, that's the thing. With so much scope, you can always develop. And like you say, with a committee, it's everybody's opinions counts, doesn't it?
Yes, definitely. Unfortunately, I live with a committee member and my father, stepmother, basically the whole family, all committee members. So if they don't like what I've done, I soon hear about it.
And that's always good. Feedback is good, isn't it? And like that, it's the entertainment, gathering entertainment for every year. You know, you want to spice it up, you want to make things different. And I guess this year you'll have a raft of new stuff.
Yeah, so new this year, we've got the Station Garage Osset bikes. They're doing 2 displays on Saturday and 1 on Sunday. Yellow helicopters are doing pleasure flights, 10 minutes up to Douglas and back. You just book your tickets on the day. Obviously that is weather depending, but it's going to be sunny, so that won't be a problem. We've also got Vikings of Man doing reenactments throughout the day. They're usually at Tynwald. But they're coming down Saturday and Sunday of the show this year.
And that's really nice. It's the culture and heritage of the island, isn't it? You know, many visitors come through the summer. Hopefully now COVID's sort of a thing of the past, we hope. You know, we'll have visitors again, won't we?
Yeah, we should definitely have visitors again. So if you haven't been to the show before, obviously, come on down. We have got online tickets at a discounted rate. We've also got a new family ticket this year for 2 adults and 2 children.
No, this is it. It's take up these offers while you can. Discounts always good, especially in these changing times, Zoe.
Yeah, so we've got to change with the times. We've got to keep everybody happy. So you can get your tickets online, or you can get your tickets through Thompson Travel in Port Erin. And we're hoping to find a few more people around the island to sell tickets, but that's there at the moment.
But these big events, Zoe, they can't get underway without our sponsors.
No, our sponsors are main sponsor is Haven Homes. They're fantastic. Yellow Helicopters are sponsoring us this year. And Jackson's and Motor Mile, they've got a huge big pitch this year.
And it is always great for people to get out and see what they have on offer. You know, we talk about livestock show with the fur and feather, the cows, the sheep and everything else. But there's so much more to a show than just the livestock.
There is. All the trade stands, we've got lots of different trade stands this year. Hopefully lots of special offers on show day. We've got lots of caterers cater for all kinds of different foods.
And I think that's what's nice about a show day is the fact that you can actually get out and taste something maybe out of the ordinary. You know, we're quite partial to a fish and chips, but, you know, when Meximan turns up or some of the other brilliant Isle of Man caterers, even in the Manx food market, there's always something tasty.
Yep, we've got foraging vintners as well. If anybody fancies a little tipple, they're there.
I think you guys will be after one of those after a long day at the show.
We're also going to have some live music at the foraging vintners tent. If anybody wants to come and perform, let me know or contact Ian at Foraging Vintners.
Who knows? Glastonbury might be the next stage, mightn't it? But like you say, the evening entertainment is always nice, especially on a good weather show day.
Yeah, and we've ordered good weather.
And you're saying you can enter on the day. There's some classes that you can just roll up and bring whatever you got to show off.
Yeah, the arts and crafts and produce and confectionery, you can enter either on the Friday night, you can bring it along, or bring it on the Saturday morning. If anybody wants a prize list, then just give me a message and I can send you one out.
Yeah. And where can you find you? On Facebook and all these other places?
Yep, all on Facebook. We're on Instagram now. Wow. And our website, southernshow.org. Hopefully all the information is on there that you'll need.
There we go. That was Brian Egon, the president of this year's Southern District Agricultural Show, and the secretary there to Zoe Hampton.
Yeah, all preparations to be starting to get a little bit itchy and panicky now, just in case, I'm sure they haven't, but in case any last minute things that have been forgotten, isn't it? It's always a worry, I suppose, organising it.
Oh, it really is. It's a big undertaking, you know, to get the grass off the field, to get the plan drawn out and make sure every exhibitor and trade stand gets fitted in perfectly. And with it being quite a new showground, there's always lots of changes and tweaks to be made to make it a better event. And that's what they're striving for this year. But there's lots on, a huge packed out schedule. So look out for that at the end of this month, the 30th and the 31st of July.
You're listening to Countryside here on Manx Radio with Kirree Kermode and myself, Simon Clark. Well, there was a wonderful greeting when I drove into Andreas Village at the weekend. It was the celebration of the Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebration. I went along to a packed Ayr United sports field and spoke to, well, a Queen that was there on the day, some of the youngsters who were enjoying themselves, the Governor, Sir John Lorimer of the Isle of Man, but firstly Marcia McQueen and Rosie Allison. Well, let's get a chat with Marcia McQueen and Rosie Allison. Two of the organisers of the event, a few more though, was there?
Yes, there was. There was Leslie Neen and Trish Clegg.
And Jackie Farragher.
Yeah,
the famous five.
The famous five. But you must be pleased. I mean, the weather's perfect for you.
Yeah, we were a bit apprehensive, weren't we? We'd a meeting in the middle.
Stress this week about the weather, but
we thought we'd go ahead with a chance and it's perfect, absolutely perfect.
Must be pleased with the turnout. When I come round the corner, the sight is beautiful when you come into Andrews. The buntings around the village by the shop and everything just adds to it. You know you're going to be at something.
yeah, it just shows that there is an event, and we've built it up over the last couple of weeks, putting flowers out, more and more bunting, lots of posters themed. The kids from the school and the youth club and the brownies and the playgroup have all done boards to celebrate the Jubilee. We've had them up around the parish, like I say, building something for the event today, and it's a good turnout so far. Yeah. It's early days.
Can I just say that Marcia is responsible for all these themed, you know, the corgi on top of Timber Hill and the Andrus Knot on the clock down there. Marcia did all these, so really talented lady.
But it does make a difference to see something unique. You know you're going to something special.
Yeah.
And for you mentioned, Marcia, the younger ones getting involved in the schools and the playgroups, and it's such a unique event, isn't it, to have this meant?
Certainly in our lifetime, none of us are going to see it again, I don't think. So I think it deserved recognition, and to bring the community together to do that, I think is a wonderful thing.
Well, we are sitting next to a lady, Your Majesty, who's sitting in the Queen's throne here at Andreas. Jean Collister, what an honour it must be for you to be sitting doing this today for the community.
It's a great honour. I never knew there'd be so many people taking photographs. It was more like a wedding than a Jubilee.
It's quite a unique event though, isn't it? A Platinum Jubilee. And how did they approach it to be Her Majesty with the crown and the throne today?
They've got a little committee. I think there's about 5 ladies of the village in it, and they came and asked me if I would be queen. And I thought, oh, no, I couldn't do that. But anyway, they said, well, I didn't want to let them down. So I thought, well, I'll do it. But it's been wonderful.
Well, Sir John Lorimer, the Governor of the Isle of Man, it's great to see you up north today. It's a special event at Andres.
It's fantastic, and my goodness, the weather.
To get the invitation to these sort of events, when you see it written there, I mean, first of all, I suppose you've got to map it out of where you're going. But it must be great to see the different communities pulling together.
I think this is that's exactly the point. It's wonderful to see the community out now. The weather helps, of course, but my sense is here it's a really strong community, and it's just lovely to see everyone from youngsters to the not so young and playing all these games, and there's dancing, and it's just great. It's just a great community day, and it's wonderful that it's here. Everyone's celebrating the Jubilee as well. I've been delighted how many events marking the Jubilee have been going on across the island, and really from the beginning of the year, with loads of tree plantings and things like and that. But since TT as well, and I know there's a whole lot planned for later on this year as well.
Yeah, you haven't seen you in the sack race or three-legged race yet.
Do you know what? I thought I'd give that. Now, my uber competitive spirit may come to the fore, and that would not be good.
But there's so much for everyone, isn't there? We spoke the young and old. There's the ice cream here. The magicians about to get going. The music. We've got a selection of old bikes here. There's something for everyone.
Yeah,
cars.
Bikes and cars. And do you know what? I think people just... It's lovely for people to get out and be together and mix and where it's been a bit difficult in the recent past. I think it's just great that people have the opportunity to sit down and have a good natter and just enjoy each other's company.
Yeah. So a couple of the younger ones. What's your name?
I'm Holly. I'm Africa.
And how are you enjoying this celebration today?
It's really good. It's very enjoyable and lots of games which you can win. Very fun prizes.
Have you been entering all the sports and the games?
Yeah, we entered the tug of war and then the obstacle race before.
Have you come away with any prizes?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations. And you do know what the celebration's all about, do you?
Yeah.
And how special it is to see a special queen here dressed up in the throne.
Yeah, that's really exciting. Yeah, I think that it's really nice that there's someone that's dressed up as a queen.
Yeah. And do you go to the school here?
Yeah.
But when you come into the village and see all the little flags and the buntings, the clock is all
really, it puts a smile on people's faces.
Yeah. Did you meet the governor?
Yeah.
It's been a good day then, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a really good day.
Yeah. What's it feel like to be part of it? Is it something you think you'll remember, the Platinum Jubilee, the Queen?
Yeah, I think that I'll definitely remember it. Definitely, yeah. Because it's just one of those things that you will remember.
Good to talk to you anyway. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Right, thank you.
Well, there we are. Holly and Africa there telling us how excited they were about the day and what work they'd put in. Also, the Governor, Sir John Lorimer of the Isle of Man, who attended the proceedings, and also the Queen, Jean Collister, and Marsha McQueen and Rosie Allison, a couple of the organisers. What a wonderful day it was. They'd all the sports days, egg and spoon races, Kirree, the sack race.
Isn't it great you can just stop the clock for a few minutes and just relax and enjoy a real lovely celebration like that? It's like quite traditional, isn't it, the events that they had on there? It's the simple things in life that we really, really do enjoy. And it's been great celebrations for the Jubilee around the whole of the island this year.
It certainly was, and good to see some of the local celebrities taking part. Jackie Farragher in the sack race there. Big Bry, Radcliffe.
Excellent.
He wasn't much in the sack, though, I'm afraid.
No?
But, no.
Were you any good?
I didn't have a go at it.
Oh, okay.
No, but there you are. But well done to all the organisers there. It absolutely looks supreme. That's it for this week's programme, though. The podcast is available on Manx Radio's website, so don't forget that if you missed parts of the programme or need to listen to it again. And we'll be back next week with more. So until then, from me, Simon Clark.
And me, Kirree Kermode.
We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.